A poem, song, anything at all, you can come to us and we will have a lineup of people. I would just like to note that, as always, we do not tolerate any kind of hate speech, be it anti-Semitic, anti-Islamic comments. Yeah, so if you want to share something, please do come to us. And for now, I think we'll listen to some music, or we can warm up our voices.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Bora.
Hey, hey!
Ho, ho!
Occupation has to go.
Hey, hey!
Ho, ho!
The occupation's got to go. Hey, hey!
Ho, ho!
The occupation's got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
The occupation's got to go.
Hey, hey!
Ho, ho! The occupation's got to go.
Hey, hey!
Ho, ho! The occupation's got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! The occupation's got to go. The occupation's got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho! The occupation's got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
The occupation's got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
The occupation's got to go. Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Bom, boa tarde, então, boa tarde, boa noite, é sempre aquela hora. Como ainda não jantámos, acho que aqui comemos do almoço, né? Então, pessoal, estamos aqui no Largo do Independente para acompanhar mais uma vigília pela Palestina. Infelizmente já são muitas mais do que nós gostávamos de ter de filmar, mas olha, vamos cá estando. Na próxima semana ainda não temos garantido que vamos cá estar para filmar.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free,
Free Palestine.
free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Stop the genocide. 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 Stop the genocide.
Okay, so it looks like we're having a slow start, but that is okay. I will read a poem, but do come to us if you want to share it, because we're looking for people to share. Okay. So this is a poem by Michael Rawson, who is a British Jewish writer. Yes. In Gaza, children, you learn that the sky kills and that houses hurt. You learn that your blanket is smoke and breakfast is dirt. You learn that cars do somersaults, clothes turn red, friends become statues, bakers do not sell bread. You learn that the night is a gun, that toys burn, breath can stop, it could be your turn. You learn if they send you fire, you couldn't guess, not just a soldier dies, it's you and the rest. Nowhere to run, nowhere to go, nowhere to hide in the home you know. You learn that death isn't life, and the air isn't breath. The land is for all. You have the right to not be dead. The land is for all. You have the right to not be dead. The land is for all. You have the right to not be dead. The land is for all. You have the right to not be dead. Do we have anyone who would like to share? It can just be sharing how you are feeling, how your past week has been, sharing a poem that you read, a poem that you wrote. You can play a song if you want. We also can connect your phone. Or we can also have like a moment just being together, which is totally okay. We don't have to always occupy the space. So I will be leaving.
One, two, three, four.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel's a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel's a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel's a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel's a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel's a terrorist state.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Occupation no more.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Israel's a terrorist state.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the sea to the river.
Palestine will live forever.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Palestine will be free.
From the river to the sea.
Bom, pessoal, como podem ver, não é que esteja cá pouca gente, está uma plateia interessante. A única questão é que para já não há inscrições para o microfone aberto, porque a princípio isto vai mudar, ok? Aqui à frente no chão, esta longa lista que está aqui é uma lista que já está, eu diria, de cerca de 2 meses atualizada. Tem vítimas do genocídio que está a ocorrer na Palestina. Infelizmente, passados tantos meses ainda continua a decorrer e é assim, nós continuamos nas ruas, ok? Aqui mais uma vigília, já são bem mais de, sei lá, já deve haver aí 15, 16 vigílias e nós vamos...
Okay, so we have a sign up. Gonçalo, grace us with your lovely voice.
Bom,
Thank you.
parece que finalmente vamos fazer então.
Hi. So I was not gonna sing, but I mean, come on, people, come here, say what you think, please. So I'll be the first, I guess, and I will sing a song that I've sang one time, like a few weeks ago. It's called "Wake Up" by Alanis Morissette, and it's about silence. It's about when people choose to be indifferent and in silence towards a situation that is not comfortable and choose the path of least resistance. So I think it's very, very relevant because in the end of this, if you are still silent, then you also are to blame, or you also are connivent with who is killing and who is practicing this genocide. Anyways, I hope you like it. And didn't prepare anything, so I think. Can I do this? Yes. Okay. You like snow, but only if it's warm. You like rain, but only if it's dry. There is no sentimental value to the rose that fell on your floor. There is no fundamental excuse for the granted I'm taken for. But it's easier not to, so much easier not to. And what goes around never comes around to you, to you. You like pain, but only if it doesn't hurt too much. And you sit and you wait to receive. There's an obvious attraction to the path of least resistance in your life. And there's an obvious aversion, no amount of my insistence could make you try tonight. 'Cause it's easier not to, so much easier not to. And what goes around never comes around to you, to you. There's no love, no money, and no thrill anymore. There's an apprehensive, naked, little, tremble little boy with his hand in his hands. And there's an underestimated and impatient little girl raising her hand. But it's easier not to, so much easier not to. And what goes around never comes to you. Get up, get up, get up off of it. Get out of here. Enough already. Get up, please. Oh, get up, get up, get up off of it. Get out of here. Enough already. And wake up. Thank you.
Obrigada, Gonçalo. So now we have a site. I would also like to mention that we're selling some flags here on the site. So if you still do not have a flag or would like an extra flag of Palestine, of course, please do come to us. Oh, thank you.
Good evening. Masal khair. My name is Usaid. I am from Nablus, Palestine. Before I start, I would like to thank the organizers of this vigil and all the participants for their support to and solidarity with Gaza. There are no words that can describe what's happening in Gaza, but at least from this position, we can use these words to spread awareness. This is probably what I can do, at least me. Therefore, I chose to read some Palestinian poetry for the departed poet Mahmoud Darwish, or what we call in Palestinian Darwishiyat. I will read them first in English, in Arabic, and then I will read a translation. It won't take so long. وإن سألوك عن غزة فقل لهم بها شهيد يسعفه شهيد ويصوره شهيد ويودعه شهيد ويصلي عليه شهيد ولكن على هذه الأرض ما يستحق الحياة. تردد إبريل رائحة الخبز في الفجر تعويذة امرأة للرجال كتابات أسخيليوس أول الحب عشب على حجر أمهات يقفن على خيط ناي وخوف الغزاة من الذكريات. على هذه الأرض ما يستحق الحياة. نهاية أيلول سيدة تترك 40 بكامل مشمشها ساعة الشمس في السجن غيم يقلد سرب من الكائنات هتافات شعب لمن يصعدون إلى حتفهم باسمين. وخوف الطغاة من الأغنيات. على هذه الأرض ما يستحق الحياة. على هذه الأرض سيدة الأرض، أم البدايات، أم النهايات، كانت تسمى فلسطين، صارت تسمى فلسطين سيدتي، لأنك سيدتي أستحق الحياة. Now, in English. If they ask you about Gaza, tell them there is a martyr in it. A martyr is helping them. A martyr is filming them. A martyr bids them farewell. And the martyr prays over them. But on this earth, there is what worth living for. The recurrence of April, the smell of bread at dawn, the opinion of a woman in men, the writing of Aeschylus, the beginning of love, mothers standing on a fluid's string, and the invaders' fear for memories. On this earth, there is what worth living for. The end of September, a woman leaving 40 in her prime, the hour of sun at prison, clouds mimicking a flock of livings, a people cheering for those who ascend to their fate, smiling. And the tyrant sphere of songs. On this earth, there is what worth living for. On this earth, there is the lady of the earth, the mother of beginnings, the mother of endings. It was called Palestine. It will be called Palestine. My lady, I deserve, because you are my lady, I deserve life. So free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Free, free, free Palestine.
Stop the genocide.
Stop the genocide.
Stop, stop the genocide.
Stop, stop the genocide. Free, free Palestine.
Thank you.
Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Stop the genocide. Stop the genocide. Stop, stop the genocide. Stop, stop the genocide. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Free, free, free Palestine. Stop the genocide. Stop the genocide. Stop, stop the genocide. Stop, stop the genocide.
Palestine!
Olá a todos, eu sou o Peter. Não tenho uma canção, não tenho um poema. Tenho só em frente de mim esta lista enorme de vítimas, milhares de pessoas. Cada nome, uma vida, uma história, ambições, desejos, uma família, como nós todos. Neste momento em Gaza, cada hora há 2 mães que perdem a vida. Cada dia em Gaza, neste momento, há 10 crianças que subiram uma amputação de uma perna ou de 2 pernas, muitas vezes sem palavra. Anestesia. Sim. Neste momento em Gaza, uma em cada 4 pessoas está a morrer de fome. É por isso que estou aqui, é por isso que estamos todos aqui. É difícil continuar a ter a esperança, mas eu penso que nós temos de continuar. Pensamos talvez que não podemos fazer nada aqui em Portugal, mas a opinião pública conta. Okay? Se os governos dos países europeus percebem que nós queremos que isso acabe, eles podem pôr pressão, mais pressão, eles têm de pôr mais pressão. Então, eu sou guia turístico, tento de fazer alguma coisa de concreto para ajudar as vítimas em Gaza. Sábado passado eu fiz um passeio com 8 pessoas e as pessoas pagaram as Nações Unidas, Save the Children e outras organizações, e conseguimos angariar 360 euros para as vítimas de Gaza. Quero repetir esta experiência. Como eu passei em inglês, vou falar agora em inglês. I won't repeat everything I just said in Portuguese. I think we all have the same feelings. We know why we're here. Personally, I'm a tourist guide in Lisbon, and so last Saturday I organised a walking tour through the city, and so we managed to raise 360 euros for the victims of Gaza. And so I want to repeat this experience on this coming Saturday at 11 o'clock. We'll start up in the church in Graça. So I'm calling for people to come and join us. Even if you think you know the city of Lisbon well, I think you'll have things to learn. I think you'll have a good experience, and you'll meet people who feel the same way as you do. So I don't know if there's anybody out there who did the walk on Saturday who wants to say anything about it, how the experience was. That might help other people to come along. No? Okay, well, I'll just leave it at that. I'm going to be hanging around just for another 5 minutes or so. I think people had a good time. I think people learned stuff, even if they knew the city well. And I think, and we raised, most importantly, we raised a small sum of money, but significant sum of money for the victims. Okay, so I'll be around here just for a few minutes. I have to go, so please come over and see me. Tomorrow, the call will also go out, I hope, on the WhatsApp for the push, and hopefully we'll get some more people as well. But I'd like to get a list started, and so come and see me now if you're interested. Okay, thank you. Viva Palestina.
Palestina! Viva, viva Palestina! Palestina!
Viva, viva!
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 Palestina!
Thank you, Peter. So if anyone is interested, please come to Peter, who's here. I just have two brief announcements. One is that we have a drawing here that was not given to us, but the author of the drawing asked if we could, if everyone here at the vigil would sign it, as in like making it community thing. So if you are interested and would like to leave your name, your signature on the drawing, please come forward. It's just here on the side. Muito rapidamente em português, temos aqui um pequeno desenho que nos foi dado e foi-nos pedido se as pessoas que estão aqui presentes na vigília hoje podem assinar de forma a tornar esta uma arte mais comunitária. Tomorrow, there is a poetry reading session in the Beirut restaurant at 9 p.m. It is a collective reading of Palestinian poetry and poetry about Palestine. So if you would like to join, it's at 9 p.m. tomorrow in the restaurant called Beirut. Amanhã vamos ter uma sessão de leitura coletiva de poesia da Palestina e poesia sobre a Palestina no restaurante Beirut às 9 da noite. And now Nico. Yes, Nico's coming.
Hi everyone. I'm going to read a few poems by Palestine authors. First of all, thank you for being here. I don't mean thank you, just it feels good to have you all here. It feels good, it always feels good to be here, regardless of how sad or intense the vigil may be. I can only speak for myself, of course. I always leave here feeling, even if it's just a tiny bit stronger. So thank you all for that. I'm gonna start with a short poem by Fadwa Tukan called Enough for Me. Enough for me to die on her earth, be buried in her, to melt and vanish into her soil, then sprout forth as a flower, played with by a child from my country. Enough for me to remain in my country's embrace, to be in her close as a handful of dust, a spring of grass, a flower. The next poem is by Noor Hindi, and it's called Fuck Your Lecture on Craft, My People Are Dying. Sorry, Tundra, hope I'm not. Colonizers write about flowers. I tell you about children throwing rocks at Israeli tanks seconds before becoming daisies. I want to be like those poets who care about the moon. Palestinians don't see the moon from jail cells and prisons. It's so beautiful, the moon. They're so beautiful, the flowers. I pick flowers for my dead father when I'm sad. He watches Al Jazeera all day. I wish Jessica would stop texting me, Happy Ramadan. I know I'm American because when I walk into a room, something dies. Metaphors about death are for poets who think ghosts care about sound. When I die, I promise to haunt you forever. One day, I'll write about the flowers like we own them. The last poem is by Hanan M. Ashrawi. I can't pronounce the second name, which is why I'm just saying M. And it's called From the Diary of an Almost 4-year-old. Tomorrow, the bandages will come off. I wonder, will I see half an orange, half an apple, half my mother's face with my one remaining eye? I did not see the bullet, but felt its pain exploding in my head. His image did not vanish, the soldier with a big gun, unsteady hands, and look in his eyes I could not understand. I can see him so clearly with my eyes closed. It could be that inside our heads we each have one spare set of eyes to make up for the ones we lose. Next month, on my birthday, I'll have a brand new glass eye. Maybe things will look round and fat in the middle. I've gazed through all the marbles. They made the world look strange. I hear a 9-month-old also lost an eye. I wonder if my soldier shot her too, a soldier looking for little girls who look him in the eye. I'm old enough, almost 4. I've seen enough of life, but she's just a baby who didn't know any better. Thank you. Free Palestine.
Bom pessoal, então só para recordar, estamos aqui no lado do Independente. É mais uma vigília pela Palestina, já são bem mais de 1h30. São momentos sempre bastante bons porque acabam por ser momentos de cura coletiva, em que há o microfone aberto e qualquer pessoa pode ir cantar ou dizer poesia ou fazer qualquer tipo de interpretação artística. Já tivemos pessoal a dançar, já tivemos pessoal a passar só áudio, ou então só a partilhar aquilo que lhes vai na alma. Queria só também aproveitar para recordar que nós estamos aí a tentar angariar 60 euros para ajudar aí nas despesas dos
and a short, quick reminder that it is an open mic, so anyone who would like to share or come and stand here and sing a poem, read a poem or sing a song or sing a poem, you are very welcome to. Please come to us so we can put you on the lineup. Thank you.
Entretanto, vamos continuar aqui com mais uma conversa, umas poesias e outras coisas.
Hi.
Free Palestine.
Yeah, in English. It's me again. I hope my persistence, no, my insistence, my frequency here, maybe you heard me before, I hope my frequency here serves as a motivation for you to come and share, like I do, and I have nothing really special to say. But I feel the more discouraged I feel, like today, for example, I felt really, with a heavy heart and really discouraged. And then coming here and listening to you kind of motivates me again. Also finding the words, sometimes finding the words to express my feelings helps me to heal a little bit. So thank you for listening. It works for me. No, but I hope it works for you a little bit as well, that I share my feelings and my thoughts. I cannot sing a poem. I cannot sing at all. But I can share some thoughts. Delenda est Carthago. It's Latin. I don't speak much Latin. But I remember this sentence from university when I studied, and for the last few months, I don't know, it has been repeating in my head. Delenda est Carthago. For some reason, I kept thinking of it, and today I kind of figured out why. Delenda est Carthago. There was this Roman imperialist, obviously, Roman senator, right? You probably know, you're more cultivated than me, but I'll just remind. There was this Roman senator that visited Carthago, saw how rich it was and felt threatened, of course, like, you know, empires do, and felt like Carthago should be destroyed, right? I think this is the story. So for decades, whenever he spoke in the Senate and gave a speech, at the end, that's what I remember, at the end, whatever the subject was, at the end he would say, and also I think Carthago should be destroyed. Delenda est Carthago. And today I kind of felt why I kept thinking of this, because it kind of reminds me, it gives me this feeling, this obsession of this fear, this fear and the ganancia and the greed kind of fed rage against whatever is perceived as a threat, right? And this destructive violence that, of course, Israel is showing, has been showing, always showed. Not only Israel, obviously, we know the US, the UK, Germany, etc. But focusing on Israel now, yes, this kind of madness, you know, destructive madness, it must be destroyed. And I think we can feel it now, right? We can feel this destructive madness, this unacceptable destructive madness. It must be destroyed. But you know, the thing is that he started repeating this in the Senate decades before Carthago actually was destroyed. But the thing is, Carthago was destroyed. Still the empire fell, obviously, like this one will. But Carthago was destroyed before. So he planted this seed, right? And he repeated it until it became true. Oh, by the way, Carthago must be destroyed. So these seeds that we plant are dangerous, but that works for us as well. So I feel like now we must plant other seeds like we do, like you do. And I feel like words, although of course are not as strong as weapons, although of course at this moment we feel like words are almost powerless, if we think of the horror that is happening, but words do plant a seed, right? And it becomes reality. So there's another sentence, very, very simple, not in Latin, that keeps repeating in my head. I'm sure also in yours, but I want to put it out. I want to plant that seed, and I think that seed should really be well planted with all our strength, which is Israel must be stopped. Now, Israel must be stopped. 3 times. Israel must be stopped. I do not say destroyed because I do not use the same type of violent and destructive language that empires and imperialists do. Although, of course, I would understand if some of you would prefer Israel must be destroyed. But Israel must be stopped, and I want to add, although I think simple is the key, like repeat it until it becomes true, but I would like to add, by all means necessary at this point. Because the thing is, we do not have decades. I mean, we do have decades, but those who are dying right now, not just dying, we always mention the dead, right? But there are the injured, there are the traumatized, there are the suffering, the whole horror, right? We don't have decades. So, as I keep thinking, we must, and that is why I'm here also, and that is why I talk, I think we must talk more often, louder, all of us. We must obviously amplify Palestinian voices. We must, in any way we can, I believe, support all forms of resistance. This is the only form of resistance I have. It's very modest, just words. So I use my words Speaking of words, one last thing, poetry. I will not sing, but I will read. It's not my poem. It's a poem a friend of mine wrote, and I want to share it because he wrote it because he was, let's say, inspired by my words. So we were having a conversation, and I thought, and he was kind of trying to make me see things from another perspective, like people always do, or at least my people, like, trying to make me feel a bit less, I think. So I had the feeling like my message wasn't really getting across. I felt like he's not really getting it, he's not really understanding that this has to stop, that I cannot just relax. But then the next day, after our conversation, my friend sent me this poem. He said, after our conversation, I wrote this. And I want to share it with you because I think the poem proves that it's worth it to have these conversations, because I think after all the message did get across. So it's worth to talk, to share, to keep trying. So this is a poem by a friend, Mário Rezende. I'm going to read it. It's in Portuguese, so I'm going to read it in Portuguese. À procura das crianças de Gaza. Incendiárias as bombas na minha alma. Mãos de criança entre os escombros, sangue gelado na lama, ódio retorcido nas paredes tombadas, gatos perdidos, pássaros sem teto, mortos à procura dos vivos, mortos à procura dos mortos, mortos no ódio, mortos com ódio. Devastação, devastação. As ruínas das ruas da vida pertencem agora à Senhora do Mal, amante de imperadores. Os seus gritos ouvem-se à noite, o seu riso ecoa de dia, hasteia uma vez mais o pavilhão da glória. A terra é minha, grita, os órfãos são meus, vão servir-me agora e depois, na vida e depois, reinarei. Há anjos, muitos, pendurados nos escombros mais altos, contemplam, tristes, socorrem os aflitos e aguardam a hora dos novos e livres jardins de Gaza. Israel must be stopped. Thank you.
Okay, and now we will have Alison, who is gonna play a recording of herself playing the violin.
Hello. At home in Canada, I am a violinist, but I'm traveling now, so I don't have a violin, but I do have a YouTube recording of the song "We Will Not Go Down," a song for Gaza.
Thank you, Alison, for sharing that with us. And now I would like to call Sean. Oh, he's there. He's coming.
Olá. Vou dizer pouco em português. Desculpa, português não é a minha língua materna, mas vou tentar. Estou em um grupo judaica e talvez, obviamente, contra a guerra, contra o sionismo, mas precisamos pouco de ajuda. Desejamos saber o que os outros gostariam de saber de nós, porque sabemos tão muito a história, as respostas da pergunta como é possível, porque era a nossa vida e achamos que podemos partilhar muito das histórias, da informação, como o mundo, como o povo português, como os palestinianos, mas não sei o que os outros querem saber. E por isso vou ficar-me a parte de trás. Se há alguma que pensa, find me and ask e falamos, porque como disse, há tão muito que sabemos do como of how we got here. There's so much that we know from our lives about how we got to this point and the crazy things that the state of Israel is doing and the way that Jews around the world were raised, unfortunately, so many of them, to accept this. So we want to know if there are things that we can do for education to share what we know that maybe other people will be interested in. I don't know. If there is, that would be great. E também, para o movimento, nós precisamos uma coisa especialista. Algumas advogados ou pessoas que sabem pouco de lei, porque o movimento vai crescer e quando crescerão precisaremos mais we will need to know more about the law and the rules and all of these things that we are doing that are so wonderful. For us to do more, we need to understand more about the system. E por isso, if there is anyone who knows about the law, who can maybe talk and help in this way, it would truly be wonderful. So I will sit in the back, and if anyone can help, this would be wonderful. Okay. E também, I have books of poetry here. They are in English. Usually I try and have books in Portuguese as well, but those were so popular that now we only have the books in English. But I will read some poetry. This one is not so happy, but I hope you will feel okay with it. This is from Mahmoud Darwish, The Red Indian's Penultimate Speech to the White Man. And this is only a portion. Soon you'll raise your world over ours, blazing a trail from our graveyards to a satellite. This is the Iron Age, distilled from a lump of coal. Champagne bubbling for the mighty. There are dead and there are colonies. There are dead and there are bulldozers. There are dead and there are hospitals. There are dead and there are radar screens to observe the dead as they die more than once in this life. Screens to observe the dead who live on after death, as well as those who die, to lift the earth above all that has died. O white master, where are you taking my people? And yours? Into what abyss is this robot bristling with aircraft carriers and jets consigning the earth? To what fathomless pit will you descend? We'll take a peek at our homeland through the stones and glimpse it through the openings in clouds, through the speech of stars, and through the air suspended above the lakes. Between soft tassel fringes and ears of corn, we'll emerge from the flower of the grave. We'll lean out of the poplar's leaves. Of all that besieges you, O white man, of all the dead who are still dying, both those who live and those who return to tell the tale, let's give the earth enough time to tell the whole truth about you and us, the whole truth about us, the whole truth about you.
Bom pessoal, só para recordar, estamos aqui no lar do Independente para mais uma vigília pela Palestina. Já é mais de uma dezena e meia, mas olha, nós vamos passando. É sempre um ótimo espaço de partilha para quem estiver aqui perto de Lisboa para se juntar. Aqui é um microfone aberto onde podem partilhar música, poesia, ou só palavras soltas ou dança, como já fizemos. Neste momento estamos aqui um pouco no compasso, à espera que alguém queira ir falar ao microfone. Pronto, seja como for, não se esqueçam que a PTrevolution é um projeto autofinanciado. Estamos a ver se arranjamos financiamento agora para dia 24 e 27 e também era para hoje, mas hoje já está a concretizar, por isso se alguém puder aí desse lado ajudar, temos um orçamento de 60 euros para cobrir para internet e transporte e depois alguns vinhos para ir para coletar no terreno. É uma questão de entrar em contato connosco. Nós, olha, aqui estamos, mais uma vigília e aqui estaremos, às vezes forem possíveis. À quarta-feira já é nitidamente uma pequena tradição virmos aqui juntarmos esta gente para cá esta.
Thank you, Sean, for what you shared and for making, I don't know where you are, but, and for making the booklets of the poems. Thank you. And now I would like to call Gigi to come and share a bit.
Hello. I will continue with the tradition of sitting down because I really hope more people will feel comfortable to come and speak. I will not talk today as much as I did last time, but I want to talk about the fact that there is a basketball game happening tomorrow between Israel and Portugal at 7:15 And we have made with Palestina in Portugal an appeal for everyone to send an email to ask to cancel the event. If you still want to send that email, you can come to me after I finish speaking and I can send you an example of the email, and then you can send it in your name to the Portuguese Basketball Federation. I don't have much hope that they will cancel the event since it is tomorrow. At this point, even if we flood them with emails, still I think it would be a strong statement for all of us to do so. And as I shared this on my stories today, there was this girl from my university that responded to my story, and I will read to you the conversation that occurred, saying, mas porquê devemos castigar uma equipa de basquetebol pelas atrocidades do seu país? For those who don't understand Portuguese, she asked, why should we punish a basketball team for the atrocities of their country? I had a deeper conversation with her in which she has asked, but do you really think that the government of the country, who is the only entity that can really make a difference, wants to know if we don't support their artists, their sport, etc.? This is a very popular point that people make. Also, when I ask people to boycott McDonald's, when I ask people to for example, protest the Portuguese diplomatic support to Israel. Also on the line of thought for example, students in Coimbra painting the stairs in Coimbra, or people here making graffitis on the Ministry of Negócios Estrangeiros, or all of these actions that have been happening, for me they are all on the same line, which is sometimes the things that people ask just show some ignorance about the topic, because if you would have researched just a little bit, you would have gotten the answers to your question and you wouldn't have needed to ask me on Instagram about it. But for the sake of following up on the things that I said, I mean also if the thing that people comment a lot about these, I'm entering a different topic right now, this is my opinion. But when people comment a lot about the graffiti things that's been happening, which is a consequence of us making these vigils peacefully every week and making peaceful demonstrations and nothing ever happening. So eventually, of course, more radical action is bound to happen. This is just my opinion. Because we need some noise. But for me the most, if you don't support these actions, you can always do the simplest thing, which is just to boycott the sports events, to boycott the art events, to boycott the companies to just simply not buy from companies that support that support the apartheid. And when I say that you could have just done a little bit more research, is because there is a BDS website, Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions, a website that explains very, I mean, if you don't want to go to history books and learn about how apartheid was defeated in South Africa, which is probably easier than you just opening the BDS website, I will read to you the BDS website. You don't need to open it. I will read it right now. So there is this page called Cultural Boycott on the BDS website that explains it. So the overview is: Israel overtly uses culture as a form of propaganda to whitewash or justify its regime of occupation, settler colonialism, and apartheid over the Palestinian people. Just as South African anti-apartheid activists had called on international artists, writers, and cultural institutions to culturally boycott South Africa, we urge international cultural workers and cultural organizations, including unions and associations, to boycott and or work towards the cancellation of events, activities, agreements, or projects involving Israel, its lobby groups, or its cultural institutions. International venues and festivals are asked to reject funding and any form of sponsorship from the Israeli government. Thousands of artists across the world now refuse to perform in Israel, including a host of global superstars such as Roger Waters from Pink Floyd, Lauryn Hill, and Chuck D. Israel does. I will read now further on the section of why on the BDS website. When they say, do you really think the government cares if we boycott their sports activities? Yes, they do care, because they literally spend millions and millions of money to fund this propaganda. And they say it way better than I ever could, so I will just read from the website. The case for a cultural boycott of Israel. Israeli government officials have summed up how Israel instrumentalizes culture to cover up its grave violations of international law. We are seeing culture as a hasbara, which is the Israeli propaganda funded by the government, tool of the first rank. One official admitted, which is they source Haaretz, the main Israeli newspaper. And I do not differentiate between hasbara and culture, the words of the Israeli official. Israel's cultural institutions are part and parcel of the ideological and institutional scaffolding of Israel's regime of occupation, settler colonialism, and apartheid against the Palestinian people. These institutions are clearly implicated, though their silence or active participation in supporting, justifying, and whitewashing Israel's occupation, through their silence or active participation in supporting, justifying, and whitewashing Israel's occupation and systematic denial of Palestinian rights. When international artists perform at Israeli cultural venues and institutions, they help to create the false impression that Israel is a normal country like any other. The absolute majority of Palestinian writers, artists, and cultural centers have endorsed the cultural boycott of Israel, and there's a growing number of anti-colonial Israelis who support BDS, including the cultural boycott of Israel. To distract from and whitewash its crimes against the Palestinians, Israel launched the Brand Israel campaign in 2005. We're in 2024, guys. This is almost 20 years ago. Following its 2009 massacre in Gaza, for example, an Israeli official announced a plan to send well-known novelists and writers overseas, theater companies, exhibits to show Israel's prettier face. Israeli artists who receive state funding to perform overseas often sign a contract pledging to promote the policy interests of the State of Israel via culture and art, including contributing to creating a positive image of Israel, thus forfeiting any claim to artistic freedom. Some international venues are increasingly reluctant to accept Israeli government funding or host artists/writers funded by the Israeli government. So, if you bring before I say what I have to say, I will talk about the impact of it. So, the section of impact. They say, what's happening? An awareness of Israel's oppression of Palestinians grows. More and more artists from across the world are joining the cultural boycott. Support for the cultural boycott and cancellations of performances receive very significant media exposure in Israel, showing ordinary Israelis that there is increasing opposition to Israel's denial of Palestinian rights. So if they claim to be a democracy and we affect the opinion of their population about Israel, then for sure it will make some difference, just on this simplest base level. So milestones, thousands of artists from across the world now support the cultural boycott. And cultural workers have signed public statements in support of the cultural boycott. In 2015, more than 1,000 cultural figures in the UK signed the cultural boycott pledge. BDS-related initiatives have been launched in Montreal, Ireland, South Africa, Switzerland, Lebanon, the US, among others. Distinguished cultural figures who have endorsed the cultural boycott of Israel include the late Stefan Hessel, Holocaust survivor and contributor to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, Chuck D, Roger Waters, Talib Kweli, John Berger, Arundhati Roy, guys, I'm sorry, okay, it's difficult names, Judith Butler, Naomi Klein, Ken Loach, Angela Davis, Mira Nair, Mike Lay, Bjork, God bless her soul, and many others. We have also Snoop Dogg, Cat Power, Vanessa Paradis have cancelled performances in Israel or declined to perform there. Despite offering large sums of money to international artists to defy the cultural boycott, Israeli promoters complain that it is becoming increasingly hard for them to attract famous artists. So it's about time Portugal keeps up with this, guys. It's about time. Okay. Boycott-related protests at the 2014 Edinburgh Fringe saw 2 state-funded Israeli troops ejected from the festival, while 2 other Israeli troops not connected to the Israeli state performed unimpeded. No Israeli state-funded troops came in 2015. In 2014, the prestigious Sao Paulo Biennial Festival ended an Israeli sponsorship deal following calls to do so by a vast majority of the participating artists. Slay Brazil. The message that BDS targets Israel's regime of oppression and its cultural ambassadors is getting through to Israeli artists. So, you can spread the word, you can support the boycott of the basketball game tomorrow, you can support the actions of BDS here in Portugal, so for example against the Zionist concert that happened in Gulbenkian a while ago. And all of that. There's a lot of things that we can do in Portugal already. And when someone tells you not to compare it to South Africa, you can show the hundreds of human rights groups, including Israeli rights groups, human rights groups that have stated that Israel is an apartheid. Amnesty International has stated that Israel is an apartheid. The only other case of apartheid that we know is South Africa, and this has worked in South Africa. So you can equip yourself with these arguments against people who say that, what's the fault of the basketball team? This what I just read to you, you can use that as arguments. This is the one thing I wanted to say. Another very important thing is Eurovision, that has several artists have called to boycott Israel from Eurovision, and this is also something that you as Portuguese people can call for. We should make some noise about this. This is very, very important. There have been some there are artists that can lose their job, that can lose their platforms because they're speaking up about this, like Aurora, for example. God bless her soul. If they can do it, I really think we can do it as well. What do we have to lose? So please support the cancellation of, I can tell you a story actually. I will finish with this personal story before I leave, because I get very comfortable when I sit down. So there is this party that I really, really enjoy in the other side of the river. And I've been going there for years now, religiously, every month. I love them very, very much. They brought an Israeli DJ last month. And for me, it wouldn't be a problem that they brought an Israeli DJ if I didn't open their Instagram account and I saw that this Israeli DJ has used his platform to speak up against Hamas and never said a word about the actions of his government, and actually has put a comment saying something like, oh yeah, but the Israeli government doesn't send its soldiers to kill thousands of innocent people. This was on October 7th. That has aged very, very, very badly. It was not true even at the time of him sending it, so it was just ignorant at its best. I cannot support that party anymore. It hurts very much. I love them very, very much. I fell in love with music through that party, but I can't. If I spoke up about them bringing these artists and they just told me not to mix art with politics, well, maybe I'll stop mixing art with politics when you stop bringing someone that defends a government that funds genocide, no, and that commits genocide against their people. And maybe if you don't support an artist and support their government who is committing a genocide, maybe there wouldn't be a genocide, right? Maybe they would stop committing their genocide if they lose the support of their population, if they lose the support of the population from all over the world, if they don't have money anymore from their artists to send their artists abroad, if no one accepts their artists anymore, maybe we could make a change here. So think about it, and thank you very much. Boycott. O que é que nós queremos de Parlamento? O que é que nós queremos de Parlamento? O que é que que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
O que é que nós queremos do Parlamento?
Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento. Boicote, sanções e desinvestimento.
Bom, pessoal, é só para recordar que a PTrevolution é um projeto que está autofinanciado, se alguém puder ajudar aí com as nossas coisas, agradecemos imenso. Vamos ver o que é que dá aqui mais hoje.
Thank you, Gigi. It's always very great hearing you. I would like to remind everyone that this is an open mic and we still have some time if anyone wants to come and share a bit of how they're feeling, share a poem, sing a song, or sing a poem. Yeah, for now, we're gonna listen to a song that Tumay is gonna play, as in like, yeah, through the speakers. I don't know.
Hi. It's not specifically about the Palestinian struggle, but I think it's relevant anyways. It's Strange Fruit. It's an interpretation by Nina Simone.
Southern trees, barren, strange fruit, blood on the leaves, and blood at the roots. Black bodies swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hanging from the poplar trees. Pastoral scene of the gallant South. Them big bulging eyes and the twisted mouth. Scent of magnolia, clean and fresh. Then the sudden smell of burning flesh. Here is a fruit for the crows to pluck. The rain together for the wind to suck, for the sun to rot, for the leaves to drop. Here strange and bitter.
Thank you, Tuma, for sharing with us. I would like to just make two quick reminders. One is that you can come and sign the painting that we have here on the side, if you would like to put down your name or your signature. And the other thing is that we still have some flags, if you would like to buy one. And now we have Dima.
I'm going to use Gigi's method in sitting on the floor. Thank you, Gigi, for starting that. Hello, everyone. And the other thing is I do not consent for anyone to film me, but Nunu is okay. But anyone else, please do not film me. What I'm going to be talking about is something that have been happening for the past few days about Hamas. Every time I go into a cab or I meet somebody who's Portuguese or my son comes back from school, people ask me, is Hamas a terrorist or are they resistance? And I'm put in a place where I have to think, should I tell them what I really think, or should I start thinking what, like, it puts me in a place that's what I believe versus what should be said to someone who doesn't know what I'm going to be talking about. How much do they know about the Palestinian resistance? How much do they know about Islam? How much do they know about my culture? And how much can I trust them to share with them my true thoughts? And then my son comes from school and he tells me that his friend at school told him that it's your fault, it's Hamas's fault. Hamas is a terrorist. They should not have started the war and they deserve what's happening to them. My son is 8 years old, for those who don't know, almost 8. And I think that's disgusting. And I told him, listen, Mama, for some people, they might be considered a terrorist because that's how they see the world. For others, they're considered freedom fighters. And for us, even though we disagree on so many levels related to religion, and I believe religion is personal, no one has the right to tell anyone what to believe, what to think, how to pray, what not to pray, what to wear, what to be. This is all personal. So I would disagree with Hamas when it comes to Islam as a Muslim myself. But as a Palestinian, I do not disagree with Hamas. As a Palestinian, I support the resistance. And I support standing up against violence, against putting us in camps and accepting it. And accept being treated that way. And no, I'm not going to be apologetic to it. I'm not. And I told my son, no, they're not terrorists. They're not. Even though the world would say that, even though media would say that, but no one has the right to occupy people for over 20 years, putting them sieged in a camp, controlling their food, their water, their medication, their health, their children, their women, their bodies, their existence, and then they tell them, no, you cannot fight us back, you have to stay there and take all that crap from us, and if you dare to speak, you are a terrorist yourself. Excuse me? On what basic ethics are you talking about? What's your base? And then I get into this cab driver after also wanting to drop my son for his football practice. And the Portuguese man, he was super nice, super sweet, in his 60s, and he goes and he's like, his name is Vitor, and he says, listen, I see on the media everybody is calling Hamas a terrorist. What do you say since you are a Palestinian? Are they a terrorist or are they resistance? And I told him, listen, Vitor, I will make it simple for you. How about I put you in a place and I control everything and I tell you not to do it and then you stand up for yourself. What would you do? He's like, no, I will fight for my house. I will fight for myself. No one is allowed to kick me out. And I'm like, that's what Hamas is doing. So what do you think? And he couldn't, he was like, it's a new thought for him now to think about it. It's personal, you know? And I asked him the other question. I'm like, how many Israeli kids are dead? How many Israeli hospitals are bombed? How many Israeli schools? How many Israeli universities? How about the infrastructure? How many massacres are happening in Israel every day? And he said, none. And I said, so in your process of thinking now, who would you put as a terrorist? And he said Israel.
Yay!
And I admired Vitor because I was his first Palestinian to meet in his 60s, and he's like, he wanted to really know the truth. He doesn't know. He's like, the media is covering everything, and I need to know. And you know, at that moment, and in every moment, as being myself, Dima, speaking to every human being in the street and not scared to share my thoughts sometimes, I noticed this is one of the most powerful ways to inform people rather than holding ourselves back. And it's not about fighting them or forcing a thought, because I do not believe in force anyway, rather than questioning and allow them to think and to process and question them, question that. What do you think? Like even today, for example, I went to get my vegetables. And the guy who sells the vegetables, Felipe, who I really admire and I like him, you know, we're friends at this point. I've been getting my vegetables for almost a year, and today Felipe comes and he's like, listen, well, it started with how do you start your day with all of this? And I'm like, well, being high helps at some point, you know, and then you process all this information and you take it and you say, we'll keep the resistance. And he's like, but listen, you know what? You guys, we need peace. And I'm like, but how do you expect peace to happen, Felipe? He's like, but you know, no. I don't want to be filmed. I love you. It's okay. And I asked Felipe, but Felipe, we are occupied. And he's like, yeah, I know. And I'm like, no, Felipe, you don't know what it is to be occupied. He's like, no, I understand, but you need to learn how to listen. And I'm like, Felipe, you are not listening. I know what you are talking about. But he's like, but listen, the Israelis, they're trying, and you guys should also try. And I'm like, you know, Felipe, I have a great idea for you. How about I kick you out of your house today, and I get inside, and you and your mom and your dad and your wife, everything out, because I need safety. What would you do? And he literally said, I'll fight you back. And I'm like, so Felipe, how can you say that when you talk about Hamas, that Hamas is the terrorist? He's like, but they killed civilians. And I'm like, dude, this didn't happen on October 7. And he's like, but again, and by the end of our conversation, Felipe reached to a place, again when it's personal, realizing that it's my home that they're gonna take, and you are gonna stay with no right, and his work, all his life is gonna go into dust. He realized what it is to be occupied. He understood for a moment that You can't take it for granted. He understood that some people do not have the same rights and privileges and equality and justice that you have it while you're sitting here selling your fruits and vegetables, Felipe. But today and yesterday and before yesterday and almost every day when someone learned that I'm Palestinian, whether he's a cab driver or selling fruits or in the mercado or anywhere, this is the same question. And I would give it the time, I truly do. And I love it sometimes because, you know, I'm like, okay, this is my way of resisting. This is my way of fighting. This is my way. This is one person trying to drop, this is how, okay. On a visualistic way, I see it as we are all a drop of sand. We are sand. We're all a sand. And if you drop a small, tiny rock, and if you drop that rock in the water, a small, tiny ripple effect will happen. Not major, tiny one, but it will have an effect. And if we threw 10, a bigger effect will happen, and 500 will have a major ripple effect. So I always see myself as this tiny stone that does this little bit of ripple effect. But every time I'm going to keep doing this tiny ripple effects, and I do have a faith that these ripple effects will somehow be connected and will reach to a place with different people, because this is how it always happens, the domino effect, with people starting to talk to each other, people starting sharing their truth. People are not afraid to speak what they actually believe. We are not supposed to be scared to share. Even you know what? Even if you disagree with me, even if I say something that is so brutal and hateful, I don't think that freedom of speech should be silenced. Otherwise, communication will be abrupt, and people have so much issues with communication. Like, people do not want to communicate, or people are scared to communicate, or people are, once you highlight the issues, a lot of people, their ego would come in and communication will be lost. And I think we need to break that cycle. And at this point, I'm just gonna say, like, coming here and sharing these stories today, just by itself, it was not easy, because I was scared for a moment that to actually say that openly like this, is anything happening? Okay. Are we? Oh. Can someone? I continue. Okay. So, I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be scared. And I'm going to be sharing my truth. And I'm going to say every day that resisting occupation is not a crime, and it's not an act of terrorism. And yeah, I'll end it here. Thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your time and for listening and for always being here. And Nunu, thank you all the time. You're like our own documentation. I think about it, I'm like, he's the silent documenter here, all in every visual and in every protest, in every march, you're there. Thank you so much. We will be looking back at history and seeing all your videos. Thank you all. Also, one more thing I just remembered. Parents for Peace are going to do something for the children on Saturday. So if any artist is interested to volunteer for to create activities for kids, or something that is, it's going to be at 12:30. So we're looking for, like, we want to create something for kids on that day before the march that brings people together, peace. Children understand what it is to live in a place that accepts everyone with no discrimination, no prejudice. They learn about each other. And if artists can join in to give us their ideas and what can be created or done on this level, this would be really appreciated. You can come talk to me after. Thank you very much, and all the best to everybody.
Só desculpem lá este bocadinho com o plano assim, mas... foi um pedido para não reclamarmos, apesar de sermos uma exceção, mas optámos por mostrarmos aqui a lista. Esta lista super extensa que já está tipo 2 meses e meio ou até 3 meses atualizada com 20 e-mails do genocídio da ocupação que está a ocorrer em Gaza. Aproveitar também só para recordar que nós somos um projeto autofinanciado, se quiserem ajudar aí, pegar as suas despesas, era muito fixe. Estamos aí com 3 live streams planeados agora nos próximos 6 dias, sendo que este é o primeiro, aí com um orçamentozinho de 60 euros para os 3 dias, se nos puderem ajudar aí para a nossa internet, transportes da nossa equipa, era muito fixe. E agora estamos aí com o pessoal da Vigília.
Thank you, Dima. Okay, we have just one song that was asked if we could play it. So it's a song by an Algerian singer that is called Our Night, and it talks about shared struggle. Yeah, if you would still like to share something, please come to me like during the song, or else we'll probably close the vigil after the song.
Rapaziada, boa noite. Só para avisar que essa vigília já vai ser dada por terminada e não esquecer que agora no dia 24 de fevereiro, a partir das 15 horas na Alameda, a manifestação antirracista e antixenófoba que vai haver a partir das 15 horas. E também lembrar que a PTrevolution é uma plataforma que vive de donativos. Quem puder, tiver a possibilidade, nós agradece, tá bem? Obrigado, mestre, uma boa noite, tamo junto.